Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alina if you're new here. In today's video I'm going to talk about the concept of happiness and how you can create a state of happiness within your being in the present moment while still aiming for things but without placing too much meaning onto them. And we aim for them from a place of desire, but if it's not fulfilled in a certain time frame or if it's not fulfilled fast enough, we kind of are in a state of desperation because we place so much meaning onto those things. Like, once I have this, I will be happy. Once I fulfilled this, then I can be satisfied. Once I have the success that I want, then I can be proud of myself. But the trick is to be satisfied, proud of yourself, accept yourself, and be happy in that certain moment. One thing that Neville Goddard always says is knowing the wish to be fulfilled and coming from a place as the wish is already fulfilled. You know what? For a long time, I didn't really understand that concept because I was like, how should you aim for things and have goals in life, but not placing too much meaning onto them, like still wanting them and desire and have desires, but it's so confusing because it felt like it's a mismatch that you should be aiming for things, but at the same time you should be happy. And I created vision boards. I created them from a place of, oh my gosh, I want this, I want this. You know what happens when you say, I want this, I want this? You give a sign to the universe that you don't already have it. So why are there so many people that create vision boards, but they can't seem to fulfill them? And you know what? The first vision board I ever made, it's very funny because I almost fulfilled all the things on that vision board. And the next vision board that I created, I fulfilled literally none of the wishes on there. And that's when I kind of lost trust and belief in manifestation itself, and I had to rebuild my beliefs and my trust once again. And last year when I did my vision board for this year, literally every little thing, one after the other, falling into my lap, and it's fulfilling itself automatically without me having to do much. And I was kind of reminiscing about it and kind of thinking about what did I do differently, and I wanted to share that with you because I always get asked, how do you do manifestation, how to create vision boards, how to fulfill them? Because creation of vision boards is super easy, right? You just take some pictures, you think about things that you desire, things that you want, you place them on a vision board, and then you think, oh my gosh, now it's gonna magically appear in my life. But it's really not happening. Knowing the wish to be fulfilled. Now let's say you want to create $10,000 in your bank account, or you want to make $10,000 a month and you never had $10,000 in your bank account. How should you create that feeling? Don't know how it feels, right? And that was always my issue with knowing the wish to be fulfilled, because I was like, but I don't know. I didn't have that feeling ever before. The trick is to develop a state of happiness within yourself in the present moment, and to accept yourself fully, to embrace what you have, and to be grateful for every single thing that you have in your life. And I have this tattoo here, gratitude, because this year I really did embody this state of inner happiness and that place of gratitude in my life. And since I've done this, things fall into my lap so much quicker, so much more easily. And that's when I understood what I did differently with my vision board creation. Last times when I created something, I placed that wish kind of on a pedestal. And when you place something on a pedestal, let's say another person or a desire, a wish that you want, when you place it on a pedestal, it is out of reach. It is without, it is not within you, right? But when you know that all your happiness and everything that you need, all your power, all your energy, it's starting from within, and you can create anything you want by accepting yourself and trusting in life and trusting in yourself. That's when things fall into your lap easier. And that's what I definitely experienced this year, and what was different from my vision board that I created last year around Christmas time versus the years before, where I used to create literally the same things but I didn't get them. And it was kind of like a journey of doing the inner work and getting down to the root of the issue, which is my limiting beliefs and which is my beliefs in general. I will kind of give you instructions on what you need to ask yourself and how you can get to the root cause of the issue. Because you know what, you can affirm all you want. You can tell yourself, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, all the things that you want. Your most dominant thought, which are getting informed by your subconscious mind, your belief system that is imprinted in your subconscious mind during your early childhood years. If you try to affirm something But deep down within yourself, you don't believe yourself when you give yourself that affirmation. You can affirm all you want, it will not change a thing. And that is why it's so important to get to the root cause of the issue, which is your subconscious mind and your limiting beliefs. I already previously talked about the ego, and I don't believe in battling your ego is the right journey to go. I believe you should really become your own best friend. You should, like, your ego should be your own best friend, but I will talk about the ego specifically in another video. But today I'm going to mention that creating a vision board is basically coming from your ego, right? Because you want certain things in your life, so the ego states that you're separate from your wishes. So you place all these wishes and desires on that vision board, and your ego tries to tell you, once that wish is fulfilled, then you will be happy, then you will be satisfied, then you will be a good girl, then your parents will be proud, you can be proud of yourself. But when you constantly place your happiness, your satisfaction, your state of being proud of yourself and your trust within yourself, if you place that on other achievements and on other circumstances, or, you know, your wishes as being fulfilled, like finally then I will be happy, you always place your happiness on outer things, like on the pedestal, and it is not within you, right? So once you get there, once you actually create something that is on that vision board, and you will be happy for a very short time, and then you crave the next best thing. And that is actually why there are so many rich people that have everything that they desire. They have all the money, all the wealth, all the bags, all the shoes, anything that you can imagine, and they're still not fulfilled. They're still not happy from within. Everything, but still there is something missing. And that is why they crave, like, always the next best thing, the next best adventure, the next woman, the next man, like, you know, always the next best thing, because they think that their happiness and their satisfaction will come once they have it. But that's how you live in constant lack, actually. And you can create actually a lot of things from lack as well, but it will not fulfill you. And that is why it's so important to create that fulfillment and that peace within yourself first, because then all things will naturally fall to you, will naturally magnetically come to you. And that's literally what I learned and what I experienced as well, because I placed so much of my happiness and satisfaction on other things, other circumstances, on, you know, material gains and all of these things. And once I had them, I realized I'm still not happy, I'm still not satisfied. So I asked myself, what is missing here? And I asked myself the right questions, because the quality of your questions determines your life, literally. And when you ask yourself the right question, you learn to get deep with yourself, and you really have to face yourself. It is sometimes difficult, and you have to admit that sometimes you are actually standing in your own way. I don't like the term me against myself, because I'm not against myself in any way. But the ego is one part of you. You can call that your inner child, your inner, you know, your little self, or you can also call it your best friend, you know. And I learned to really call that my best friend, and to talk with myself, with that little part of me that literally all it wants is love and acceptance. All that the ego wants is love and acceptance, but it still always tries to be separate from everything. It needs to be separate. In order to live for the ego, it needs to have separation. But in the end, we are all divine consciousness. All is one. That is one of the Hermitian laws. And if you learn to understand that, and you really need to repeat it a lot of times, because it is kind of hard to grasp, and we're so caught up in our own mind and our own, you know, in our own thoughts and in our own feelings, in our own perspective. You really need to stop placing your happiness and your satisfaction and you yourself being proud of yourself on outer circumstances, and you learn to embrace that feeling in the now. Talk to your ego self and your inner child, and claim that happiness right in that certain moment, right? I hear from a lot of people, oh, but I don't have anything, I lost everything, oh no, like, how should I be happy? And that's a very difficult thing, because from society, from Instagram, and like comparing ourselves and, you know, seeing things online, we get so caught up in, oh, we need to have this in order to be happy, and we want certain things, we crave certain things, because that's literally all we see. Like, social media is such a thing to compare yourself to others. And even me, like, sometimes when I'm on Instagram, like, it gets so triggering sometimes, because you think, oh my gosh, this relationship looks so amazing, this holiday looks so amazing, but there's so many things that you do not know what happens behind the scenes, right? And even me right now, I'm in a 5-star resort, and that's like something that I always dreamed about. But am I more happy now that I'm here? No. I mean, it doesn't hurt to go to a 5-star resort and experience a luxury lifestyle. It really doesn't hurt. But am I more fulfilled? No. Because once I leave here, I will be happy either way. I was happy as well when I was back home and I was in a very small apartment. I was living there and I was living my best life and I was so grateful. And that's because I developed that gratitude and that satisfaction and that me being proud of myself within, like, before all these things happened. And that's the funny thing. Like, when you learn to embrace that happiness within and when you learn to be grateful in the now, all these other things, all these outer circumstances will fall into your lap because life automatically rewards you and gives you more of what you're already grateful for. As that like energy attracts like energy, you will get more things to be either desperate for or grateful for. You cannot create from desperation, really. Like, it's so difficult to create from a place of desperation, believe me, because I was there and I learned now what I done differently. You need to really work with the law of assumption. The law of assumption states that everything that you believe about yourself, about other people, and the world will become true. Like, you work as a mirror. Your internal world gets reflected in your outer world. And if you assume about life to be good for you, you will get proof and evidence for that. It's called confirmation bias, okay? Life will constantly give you proof for all the beliefs that you have, whether they're good or bad. And that's when you talk to people, really, and you will listen to people. Not to answer and not to say something, but to actually consciously listen to them. You can hear it in people's sentences, what they say. Like, all the limiting beliefs that they have and how they limit themselves with the things that they're actually saying. You know, for example, like, oh, it's difficult, like, out there. You need to work hard and you need to sacrifice. One thing that I grew up with, that I learned about money, for example, is you need to work hard for your money, but even if you work hard, you will not have enough. What a shitty belief that was. And I still have to work on that belief system till this day. Once you get aware of your beliefs and the limitations that are actually blocking yourself from the life that you want, you can start to change them. Without awareness, nothing will ever happen. So you really need to get deep with yourself and face yourself, because otherwise you will not get to the root cause of the issue. You will keep on hitting your upper limit, keep on being exposed with your own limitations and with proof and evidence of your own limitations and your own belief system. One thing that I really understood is that life is a gift, but it's so funny because we have so many complaints that we talk about all the time. Like, you know, when the Wi-Fi is not working, or when something happens, or like when the food is not good. And we have so many things to be grateful for, but we literally forget it because all we see is social media and all the comparisons that we always have. But one thing that I really learned from my boyfriend, he had a very bad illness that he survived, and it changed his complete outlook and perspective on life. And he really learned to not be unhappy for small things. The most important part in life is health. Health is wealth in the end. You know, if you don't have health, you have nothing, literally. And one thing that I really learned from him is to not get caught up in the small thing. Are you getting so reactive? And I really learned to stay calm at all times and to be grateful for every single thing. And that's also why we get along so well, because we know, like, we have the same perspective and outlook on life, and we say always yes to life, because you can also say no to life. And life will say no to you as well. But if you say yes to life, life will also say yes to you. You can either order from fear and lack, inspiration, or you can order from love and gratitude, and you will just naturally get more things to be grateful for. That's really what happened to me this year, where I feel like a lot of things really clicked with me and finally changed, where I got to the root cause of the issue. And now I will finally tell you how you can manifest the things that you desire, but without placing too much meaning on it and without coming from a place of lack and desperation. So the first thing is, you really need to ask yourself the right questions. And the first questions is, ask yourself what you're actually here for. You can ask yourself, what fascinated you when you were a 10-year-old child? What do you not need any motivation for? And these two questions, and I would love to actually hear it from you down below in the comments if you think about it. And a lot of times you really have to think about it, because a lot of people don't even know what motivates them. They don't even know what they're here for. But really ask yourself and go think about back in time. For what did you not need any motivation when you were a 10-year-old child? Like, was it painting or was it playing soccer? And who were you back then, before the world tried to tell you who you were meant to be or who you should be, and before you started to please everyone in your life but yourself? And for me, for a very long time, I used to please my mom, my grandparents, everyone but myself. And for me, starting this channel, for example, it was a thing that I really did for myself. Because yes, I want to really help many people, but I also heal and help myself while I'm recording these videos. So for example, I used to love painting when I was a child, right? I love painting so much. I always wanted to do something with art or design or fashion. And my aunt told me I should go and aim for a real job, because art you can really do at home. Like, nobody will really pay you for art these days anymore. It's really difficult to actually be an artist. It will never bring you actually enough money to survive. And the funny thing is, my boyfriend, he is a coach as well, and he has a lot of people that he asks, like the first questions that he asks them within his coaching is, what do you not need any motivation for, and what fascinated you when you were a 10-year-old child? And there was a guy, he was an entrepreneur, CEO, he had a lot of money, but he was not fulfilled. So he came to him and he asked him, what do you not need any motivation for? And he said, well, gardening, but because of his culture and how he grew up, his entire upbringing, gardening was really not a thing that his parent appreciated. They wanted to see him as an entrepreneur, somebody very successful. So he became successful to please his parents, right? So then he was successful, but guess what? He was not fulfilled. In order to find that out, he thought about the things, and 3 months later he was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna actually try to do something. And he went around in his neighborhood and he rang on the doorbells. Okay, he's done door knocking, and he asked the people on every single door if he can do their garden and make it pretty. And they only have to pay him if they like what they see. Some people, they sent him away. They were like, what are you talking about? Please just leave my house. And then there were other people, they admitted him to go into the garden, and he arranged the whole garden for them. And so, one after the other, he got some more clients. And once these clients were happy, they reordered him for their own companies. And so he started to make a name in the industry of gardening. And now he has a company with 260 employees who are doing gardening. And this is really how you find your passion and your purpose. And now he's successful with the thing that fulfills him the most. And you know what? You can create a lot of success, but it will not fulfill you. But once you actually come from a place of purpose and passion, that's when all the things in your life will fall into your lap naturally. And that's also one thing that I experience every single time I'm doing something that really fulfills me, that really is fun for me. I love doing the success on all the things that I want, and they come naturally. So ask yourself, what are you here for? What is your passion? What is your purpose? Ask yourself these questions. Once you know what you're here for, once you know what really motivates you, and once you know what really drives you, you need to find peace and accept yourself. And accepting yourself without trying to constantly better yourself. And that's also sometimes difficult, because obviously you want to better yourself and you want to do the internal work in order to, just become better. But within that moment, you're also placing again that happiness on when you're finally there, once you're healed, right? But acceptance is an inner state of knowing and trusting in life that all that is meant for you will come to you either way, and you are good the way that you are. It doesn't mean that you just let yourself go and you just don't do anything anymore, but do it from a place of still accepting yourself and loving yourself either way, each and every version of you. The moment that you judge yourself for a mistake that you make, for a failure, or anything else that you've done in your life, you are not accepting that version of you. Every single thing that you do in your life is with the state of knowing that, with a place of knowing where you're at right now. like you have the best in mind for yourself. Like you're not trying to hurt you. And that's also one thing. Like, do not battle your ego and think, you know, you're bad, you're stupid for not knowing this or that and for reacting a certain way. Without awareness, you cannot do much. Ego will always try to tell you that you will find peace once you have something. But your consciousness will state that develop peace within yourself, and then you will find everything that you're looking for. The next thing is to really shape your own model of world. So the next thing that you need to ask yourself is, what are your beliefs about the world, about yourself, and about other people? Like, how do you really view yourself? What do you think about yourself? What are your character traits? What are the narratives that you constantly tell yourself? Like, am I a shy person? Like, are you a shy person? Are you a confident person? All those things that you state after the I am, that is your beliefs, okay? All the things that you claim about the world, other people, like rich people, poor people, about every single thing. If you really write down all the beliefs about the world, about yourself, and if you write them down, you really become aware of a lot of limitations that you really put on yourself, and those are exactly the things that are blocking you from the life that you live right now and the life that you really want to live. Now, once you actually wrote down your beliefs and you are creating a vision board from a place of knowing that all the desires that you have can be fulfilled, but you do not place them on a pedestal. You should use that vision board not as something that you should aim for, but as an anchor and a standpoint to start your visualization. And that's what I done differently this time. I used to use vision boards as something out of reach, as something like goals to aim for, things that I wanted, things that I do not currently have. But with my last vision board, I put all those pictures that I liked, and I started to imagine myself within them. Like, I started to see myself within those pictures. I started to see myself literally on this kind of holiday. I started to see myself living in my own apartment. I started to see myself packing boxes. I started to see myself putting up my furniture. Like, all the things that I created this year for myself, I visualized myself. And you know, the imagination faculty, it's a skill that we all have. Again, I said this already last time in my videos. It's a thing that you just need to train. Like, visualization, we are all visual people. We can all visualize anything that we want, and it actually starts in your mind. Whatever you cannot see, it will also not happen. But every single little thing that you see outside here was once just a thought, okay? So now this is the evidence for you that every single little thing that you think can also become true. So you just have to start to see yourself with the things that you want from your vision board. You need to accept yourself, go to the root cause of the issue, of your limitations, of these limiting beliefs. Things on your vision board are already fulfilled. And life will literally put you in situations where you get the opportunity to say yes or no to the life that you want to live. A lot of people actually say no when those opportunities come to them. But if you learn to say yes and you learn to embrace them and you use them as leverage to get to where you actually want to be, even if you're a little bit afraid, even if you have to take a risk, even if you have to leave your comfort zone and your place of knowing. What do you do when the doubt kicks in, right? And I had that as well, because I created a vision board, and then at a certain time, after a certain time, I was literally putting down wishes from my vision board, because the ego started to tell me like, oh, you aimed too high, like this is a big, like this wish is too big, you should actually put it down so you don't feel defeated, right? So you put down those wishes, and then you start to lose trust within yourself. You start to lose trust within manifestation and life itself and all those things. But I'm telling you now, when the doubt actually kicks in and comparison starts of what you can achieve and maybe what other people can achieve, you just need to catch yourself. Like, when the ego tries to tell you, oh, you're aiming too high, this, you cannot achieve that, no, you're dreaming too big, talk to your ego like, you know what? I know where this is coming from right now. You just want to be loved, you want to be seen, and I'm hearing you. But you know what? You don't need to be afraid. Everything will come at the right moment, at the right time. And you want us to be happy, right? You just calm it down and everything is good. Out of the situation, only good will come, no matter what you see in your life. Like, letting go doesn't mean that you're giving up on something. It just means that you're giving up on control that you can't control either way. Like, sometimes life will just happen And the only thing that you can choose is how you react to it. And if you don't give too much meaning onto those things, and if you don't place those things on the pedestal, and you are just happy from within, and you will be always calm and collected and happy and grateful with everything that you have right now, things, I'm telling you, things will move in your life so much quicker than you thought. So you need to get a little bit more distant from those things. That's called the law of detachment, right? When you detach from things, that means you don't place them on the pedestal anymore. And that happens, very funny, it happens with people as well. When you are so desperate and so needy for a certain person, like a little piranha, you're trying to go after them, you chase them, everything that you chase will run away. But once you put those people from the pedestal, all of a sudden they come run after you. Like, this is literally a phenomenon that happened to me so many times when I wanted somebody or something, and once I let go of it, it actually came to me. And I was like, what is going on? But that's the law of detachment, guys. When you learn to let go, you just give up. You don't give up on the thing, but you give up on the control. You give up on the time frame when it needs to happen. You just let go and let God, okay? You trust life and God and the universe that it will be delivered. So tell it yourself. Like, I literally said I'm so grateful for everything I have when I literally had zero money in my bank account, when I had nothing. Okay, so it really is not a state of your bank account. It's an inner state of being that you need to develop. Ask yourself, are you really happy, or are you just trying to appear happy? Because if you're constantly trying to appear happy for other people, for Instagram, for social media, for whoever, if you're trying to fulfill other people's wishes, like with your job or with the partnership that you have, you are not living in a state of happiness. You need to find out what truly makes you happy, what truly fulfills you, and then go after that. Go find that purpose, go find what you don't need motivation for, and then do exactly that. Because when you do something where you don't need motivation for, and you kind of like, and you feel it in your heart, like you feel that childlike energy that fulfills you from your heart, that is when you're gonna be successful, and that is when everything will fall into your lap. So guys, I hope you like this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're new here on my channel, then subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos. If you have any questions, topic requests, put them down in the comments below, and I see you in my next video. Mwah.